Good day, everyone, and our topic for this day is about sketching ellipses. When we have the ellipse, we have the major axis. It is a line segment joining the vertices. In this figure, the major axis is on the x-axis. We have also the minor axis, the line segment that passes through the center and is perpendicular to the major axis, whose endpoints are on the ellipse. So in here, the minor axis is here, wherein ang endpoints niya ay nasa co-vertices. And yung major axis, ang endpoints niya ay yung nasa vertices. Next, we have the focal distance. It is a distance from the center to the focus. So we are going to represent A is the distance from the center to the vertex. So in here, from the center to the vertex, this is the A. Okay, and then B is the distance from the center to the co-vertex. Okay, and then C is the focal distance, the distance from the center to the foci. Okay, so this is our C. Okay, so yung magiging A natin is, titingnan natin dito sa ating equations. Equations of ellipse. We have the center 0, 0 and h, k. So in this table, it shows the different cases or conditions of the ellipse. We have the major axis, x and y axis, and for the general form, as you can see, all the terms are placed on the one side of the equation and the other side is 0. In standard form of the ellipse, it is very helpful for us because the major axis, the values of A, B, and C are presented in this form of equations. Equations of ellipse. We have the center 0, 0 and h, k. We have the axis of x and y axis depende sa conditions. And in this part, we have the general form wherein all the terms of the equations are placed on the one side of the equation and the other side is a 0. In standard form, we have two terms. In fraction form, and kung sino pinamataas na denominator dito sa dalawang terms natin, siya ang magiging a squared. And kung ano man ang variable ng numerator na pinamataas sa denominator, yun ang magiging major axis natin. So, for example, we have this first part. If a squared is below ng x squared, therefore, ang major axis is in x-axis. And in this part, kung ang a squared naman natin is below ng y minus k squared, therefore, ang major axis natin ay nakay y-axis. Example number 1. Let us sketch and discuss x squared over 9 plus y squared over 16 equals 1. Let us identify first the principal axis and yun ay magagaling sa highest value ng denominator sa equation. Obviously, ang pinamataas sa value dyan is 16 from 9 and 16. So, under na 16 is y squared. So, the principal axis is on y-axis. Next, to get the values of A, B, and C, kukunin muna natin yung A squared. A squared ay manggagaling sa highest value pa din ng denominator. So, A squared is equal to 16. And then, B squared is yung remaining denominator which is 9. If A squared equals 16, therefore A is 4 units. And if B squared is equal to 9, then B is 3 units. Okay, and then to get the value of C, we have C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. So, 16 minus 9 is equal to 7. If C squared is equal to 7, therefore C is a square root of 7. Or, kapag kinuha natin decimal points niya, we have 2.65 units. Okay, so we have this A, B, and C. Let us get the center. Obviously, ang ganitong forma ng equation natin pagdating kay ellipse is 0, 0. And to get the endpoints of the major and minor axis, the vertices, the co-vertices, and the foci. Okay, so i-plot natin yung mga points natin using the A, B, and C and the center. So, the center is 0, 0. Then, count 4 units up upward and downward because ang principal axis natin ay nakay Y. So, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. This point is the V sub 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. This point is the V sub 2. Okay, so the coordinates of the V sub 1 and V sub 2, we have 0, 4 and 0, negative 4. Next, for the co-vertices, we're going to use the value of B, 3 units to the left and to the right, perpendicular sa principal axis mula sa center, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this point is the V sub 1. And 3 units to the right, 1, 2, 3. So, this point is the V sub 2. Okay, so ang coordinates natin for the co-vertices, we have negative 3, 0, and we have 3, 0. Okay, next for the foci, we are going to count 2.65 units na naka-align tayo kay principal axis dun sa center and dun kay A. Okay, so magbibilang tayo ng 2.65 units kahilera ng vertices. 1, 2, and 0.65. So, this point is the F sub 1. And mula sa center, 1, 2, and 0.65. That is the F sub 2. So, our foci, we have the coordinate points of 0, 2.65. And we have also 0, negative 2.65. Okay, and then for the latus recta, we are going to use the B squared over A. So, B squared over A is 9 over 4. So, we have 2.25 units. Okay, so magbibilang tayo ng 2.25 units doon sa ating dito sa atin sa focus. Dito sa ating focus. So, mula sa focus na 2.65, 0.265, bibilang tayo ng 2.35 units perpendicular sa principal axis. So, 1, 2, and 25 units. Okay, and then 1, 2, and 0.25 units. So, this is our latus recta. Okay, and then ganun din dito sa kabila. Okay, 1, 2, and 0.25. 1, 2, and 0.25. So, nakuha na natin ang latus recta. And the length of the major axis ay magagaling kay A times 2. So, 2 times 4 equals 8 units. And then the length of the minor axis, we have 3 times 2, doblehin lang natin, we have 6 units. And doblehin lang natin, nakuha nating latus recta. We have 2 times 2.25. Okay, we will have 4.5 units. So, kapag na-fill up na natin ito, kaya na nating i-graph ang ellipse. So, to graph this, we are going to use the latus recta, the co-vertices, the vertices of the computed sa ating solutions. So, mula sa ating one vertex, okay, so gagawa lang tayo ng ellipse. Kailangan yan ay smooth. Okay, so katulad ng ginagawa ko. Okay, so dapat madaanan niya yung ating vertices, co-vertices, foci. Okay, so dapat maayos sa pagkakagawa niyo, pagkakagraph niyo. Okay, so para siyang oblong. Okay, kung i-draw natin. Okay. Okay, so kailangan smooth ang ating points dito kay vertices, kay co-vertices. So, the equation of this is mula sa given x squared over 9 plus y squared over 16 equals 1. And this is, in this graph is the final answer. Example number 2. Let us sketch and discuss the quantity x minus 1 squared over 9 plus quantity y plus 3 squared over 4 equals 1. So, the principal axis is on x-axis. Okay, obviously, ang ating a squared is 9, b squared is 4. So, if a squared equals 9, a is 3 units. Okay, and then if b squared is 4, therefore b is 2 units. And c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So, we have 9 minus 4, and 9 minus 4 is 5. If c squared is equal to 5, therefore, square root of 5 is the c. Okay, and square root of 5, it is equal to 2.24 units. 2.24 units. Okay, and then the center here, baliktaran natin yung signs dito. Negative 1 magiging positive 1. And yung k natin, that is negative 3. So, let us plot those points. So, we have 1 and negative 3. So, this is the center. And then, count tayo ng 3 units parallel kay x-axis. So, to the left and to the right tayo. 1, 2, 3. So, this is the v sub 1. 1, 2, 3. This is the v sub 2. And the coordinates of vertices natin is negative 3, comma, negative 3. Okay, and we have also 4, comma, negative 3. And the co-vertices, count 2 units upward and downward. 1, 2. So, this point is the co-v sub 1. And 1, 2, this is the co-v sub 2. So, kahit anong pwesto nila, okay, so, pwedeng dito yung co-v sub 2, tas dito yung co-v sub 1. So, the coordinates of this co-vertices, we have 1, comma, negative 1, and we have also 1, comma, negative 5. Next, for our foci, ang foci natin is we are going to count 2.24 units kahilera ng A. So, 1, 2, and 0.24 units. And then, ganun din sa kabila, 1, 2, and 0.24 units. So, this is the F sub 1 and F sub 2. So, anong coordinates ng foci natin? Ang coordinates ng foci natin, that is negative 1.24, comma, negative 3, and yung isa is negative 3, 3.24, comma, negative 3. And for our latus recta, we have b squared over a. So, b squared is 4 over a is 3. So, we have 1.33 units. Okay, so saan tayo magbibilang ng 1.33 units? Doon po sa ating focus. Okay, bilang tayo ng 1.33 units perpendicular sa principal axis. Okay, so magbibilang tayo ng 1.34 upward and downward. So, 1 and 0.33. Okay, and then 1 and 0.33. So, ganun din dito sa F sub 2. We have 1 and 0.33. 1 and 0.33. Okay, so the length of the major axis manggagaling kay A, so we have 6 units. Okay, minor axis nanggagaling kay B, so we have 4 units times 2 lang natin. And the length of the latus rectum, times 2 lang natin tong 1.33, so we have 2.66 units. Okay, or 2.67 units. So we have 2.66 units. So, kapag nakuha na natin yung mga points na yan, pwede na natin yan ipagdugtong-dugtong yung mga co-vertices, vertices, and yung latus recta natin. So, kailangan smooth, okay? Okay, as you can see, makapag-form tayo ng ellipse na hindi, parang oblong siya. Kung titignan. So, this graph is the given x minus 1 squared over 9 plus y plus 3 squared over 4 equals 1. And this graph now is the final answer. Okay, and then last example, sketch and discuss a quantity x plus 2 squared over 50 plus quantity y minus 1 squared over 64 equals 1. So in here, the principal axis is uh is in y-axis. Okay, and then the principal axis, we have 64. So a squared is equal to 64. Then a is 8. So b squared is equal to 50. So b is square root of 50, or ang value ng square root of 50 is 7.07. So 7.07 units. And for our c squared is equal to 64 minus 50. So we will have 14. Okay, and if c squared is equal to 14, therefore c is square root of 14. Okay, square root of 14, or 74. So A is 8, B is 7.07, and C is 3.74. And the center for this equation, we have negative 2, positive 1. So, mula sa center, i-plot natin negative 2 and positive 1. So, this is the center. And bilang tayo ng 8 units. Okay, so since y-axis tayo, upward and downward tayo. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, this point is the V sub 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this point is the V sub 2. So, ang coordinates natin is negative 2, 9. Okay, and negative 2, negative 7. Next, for our co-vertices, we have to count 7.07. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 0.07. So, this is the co-V sub 1. Okay, and then count ulit tayo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 0.07. So, this is our co-V sub 2. Ang coordinates natin for the co-vertices, we have negative 9.07, 1, and the other one is 5.07, 1. Next, for our foci, count tayo ng 3.74 units kahilera ng vertices and ng center. So, 1, 2, 3, and 0.74. Okay, so this is our F sub 1. And from the center, 1, 2, 3, and 0.74. So, this is our F sub 2. So, ang coordinates natin dyan is we have negative 2, 4.74. Next, for our latus recta, we are going to use the b squared over a. B squared is 50 over a is 8. 6.25. So, magbibilang tayo ng 6.25 na perpendicular sa principal axis, and magsisimula tayo sa ating foci. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0.25. Then, din sa kabila, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0.25. Okay, and then ganun din sa F sub 2. Okay, so dapat magkahilera yan. Okay, and then ganun din dito sa kabila. Ito ang ating latus recta. So, the length of the major axis is 2 times A is equal to 2 times 8 equals 16. And then, the length of the minor axis, that is 2B, 2 times 7.07. And then, it is equal to 14.14. And the length of the latus rectum, we have 2 times 6.25. And then, we will have 12.50. units. Okay, so in terms of units yan. So, kapag nakuha na natin yung vertices, co-vertices, and yung endpoints ng latus recta, okay, so pwede na nating i-connect yung ating points para makapag-form ng ellipse. Okay, so we have here, starting at the vertices, kailangan smooth yan. Okay, and then dadaan sa ating endpoints ng latus rectum. Okay, and then this is our co-vertices. Okay. Okay, makapag-form tayo ng ellipse. Okay, so dapat wala tayong makitang kanto dyan. Okay, so we are forming a curved lines. Okay, make sure din na perfect po ang ating pagka-oblong ng ellipse. So, ito ang itsura niya. Okay, dapat pakiayos na po ng gawa. And this graph is for this given quantity x plus 2 squared over 50 plus quantity y minus 1 squared over 64 equals 1. And this graph now is the final answer.